A story of an old, wealthy woman and a young man who married for their own different reasons. Do you think that marriage works? For what reason did a young man marry an old, wealthy woman? Did the man know that woman was wealthy, or was he in true love with her? Adam Francis, a 23-year-old man who despised working, was forced to work in a coffee shop due to his parents' pressure. He was unhappy and despised his life, as he wanted to buy expensive clothes and visit luxurious places, but had always been empty. Despite his physical attractiveness, he rarely found a woman willing to do this for him. However, he met an unexpected customer in his coffee shop, a sophisticated woman with white hair and wrinkles. She offered a simple espresso for herself and tea for her driver, and Adam was unrecognizable. He made a small compliment to the lady and offered her a job in the sales department. Adam was ecstatic and hopeful for the future, as he was punctual and had landed a job interview the following day. He was also able to get Miss Judy, the owner of the office, to hear him out. She was so insistent that she made an exception. Adam captivated her not because of his looks, but because of his communication style and focus on his goals. He dressed well and appeared like a true gentleman in any environment or situation. Miss Judy was an accomplished boss who oversaw one of the largest sports equipment retail chains in the country. Despite her lack of experience and amateurism in business, she took up the business 13 years ago when her husband, the founder, died, leaving Miss Judy's empire. She had no interest in sports, let alone business, until she took it up 13 years ago when her husband, the founder, died. Adam deduced the story from old photos on Miss Judy's walls and assumed she was over 70. He decided to try to make the old woman fall in love with him, believing she wouldn't live much longer due to her wrinkles and age. In this matter, he could marry her with a few years until her death and inherit her large inheritance and company. Adam didn't feel bad about lying and manipulating for a few years, as the end result would be great. He was able to manipulate everyone around him and convince them to do exactly what he wanted, with his sweet and polite demeanor. At dinner, the two performed admirably. After a few weeks of going out and getting to know each other better, the young man decided to take a chance and go for all or nothing. What will be Adam's next step? Adam proposed to his boss, Miss Judy, who was shocked by the unexpected proposal. Despite their frequent outings, Adam was always respectful. His strong persuasion skills elicited a yes from Miss Judy, who accepted the request and celebrated into the night. He devoted himself to his courtship, taking her to new places and introducing her to tourist spots he had never visited before. With his love and concern for Miss Judy, she fell in love with Adam, feeling more alive and experiencing new things. However, her late husband had always focused on his business rather than his family. After his death, the elderly woman became even more lonely and reclusive, living solely for business. She decided to rent the best penthouse for the weekend and invited Adam, who arrived by helicopter. Miss Judy called him in and proposed to Adam on the hotel balcony, leaving him shocked and moved. She asked him to marry her, but was disturbed by his treatment of the hotel employee who welcomed her. She thought it was just her perception, and he wasn't rude at all, but it triggered a warning in her mind, making her more alert to Adam's next moves. The story revolves around a wealthy woman named Judy, who is unaware of the extravagant lifestyle her husband Adam is living. She has been working hard and investing in her husband's business, which has been a paper plan for years. After her husband's death, Judy becomes the majority shareholder and sole owner of the empire. However, Judy's struggle with her husband's money led her to question her husband's true intentions. Miss Judy contacts a private detective friend to investigate the man's behavior. The detective's report reveals that Adam had been transferred to another branch of the company and was cheating on her. He was meeting another woman and attending parties and restaurants, but not working. The man was constantly cheating on her, lavishing her with extravagant gifts purchased with his fortune and the company's corporate card. The old woman's trust in Adam has been broken, and she is left feeling more used and cheated than she has ever felt in her life. She plans to give Adam a shock by blocking her personal credit cards and terminating his contract with the company. The man's first attempt to use his credit card to pay for dinner with his mistress is denied, and he jokes that it was an operator error. The young man Adam is embarrassed and tension-ridden after 3 attempts to settle a bill at a restaurant. He calls his wife, Mrs. Judy, but she doesn't answer her cell phone. After threatening to call the cops and spend the night in jail, Adam agrees to leave his documents and cell phone with the manager. The young man is enraged and tries to resolve the situation, but Mrs. Judy denies knowing the reason and claims it was a bank issue. She reveals her true self, focusing on status and money, and holds him accountable for his lies. She goes to the bank to change her marriage contract and inheritance, but her plan is thwarted by a sudden death. Judy, who has been battling cancer for 3 years, leaves a letter to her faithful driver, saying her final goodbye. Adam, acting like a depressed widower, conceals the absence of tears in his eyes. As requested in Mrs. Judy's letter, the will was read aloud during her funeral. Employees and stockholders of the corporation who were concerned about the future of the business filled the room. Adam felt awkward as everyone glanced at him as the text began by thanking everyone for being there and saying that at least now she would have genuine happiness, meeting her late spouse on the other side and being able to be together for all of eternity. Instead, her firm would be shared evenly among all of the present shareholders, with a note saying how they had always supported the elderly woman and how, as a result of the board's wise judgments and superb leadership, she died with her company bigger and more powerful than ever. She has trust that they will do a great job because of this. When it came to fortune, it was discovered that the elderly woman's account had more money than everyone had thought. She was a fantastic investor for many years, generating great profits from the ownership and sales of other firms she helped set up, despite people's perceptions of her innocence and ignorance. However, all of this money would be used to establish an NGO that would be in charge of sheltering street children, not only paying for their stay, food, and clothing until they reached the age of 18, but also for their education at prestigious colleges and a guaranteed position in one of her companies. As the reading progressed, Adam's expression of hatred and anger from the day before was etched on his face once more. Angry as not receiving any share of the company or the fortune, he awaited the fate of the properties and cars, which are worth far more than he could ever spend in his entire life. To his surprise, all of these would be sold, with the proceeds going to existing charities. When the will finally mentioned Adam, a big thank you begins. The late Mrs. Judy expresses her gratitude for the man at the end of her life, saying that because of him, she had incredible and unusual experiences, saw beautiful places, and had contact with things and people she didn't even know existed. Miss Judy also stated that she believed she made the man very happy and left him one of the most important items she could leave. Adam, a gold digger, was given a key to a vault in a renowned bank, where he would inherit a collection of jewelry and real estate deeds. When he opened the safe to check on his inheritance, he was shocked to see the identical glass of espresso that Adam had given to his late wife, Miss Judy. Inside, "I hope you enjoy the bitter taste," the message said with love, your late wife. After everyone discovered his falsehoods, the young guy was distraught and sobbed and yelled, not knowing what to do. He became well known in the community, but he never rose to the desired social position. Miss Judy passed away content in the knowledge that her late husband was her soul match, and that Adam was merely a Scrooge who didn't get his way.